Go ahead and use a pry tool or a trim tool to pop this little tab up, and then go to the fender mounted tab right here, pop that up and remove that. Repeat for the other side. Go ahead and grab the cover, pull it out from behind the grille, work your way over, pull that out, and then separate that from the other side and set that cover aside. You're going to use your number 5 Allen head to remove the forward mounted grille bolt here, and repeat for the other side. Using a 10mm socket or wrench, you're going to go ahead and remove this bolt, this top bolt, and the forward mounted bolt, these 3, and then we're going to repeat for the other side. I'm going to go ahead and remove this 10mm bolt to take this radiator bracket off. We're going to repeat for the other side. I'm going to remove these 2 10mm bolts for the radiator fill. Now we're going to go ahead and remove the bolts for the AC condenser brackets here. Using a trim tool, I'm going to go ahead and get behind the hood release bracket cable tab here and just gently pry that off. Slide that down. Next, we're going to go ahead and remove these bolts here using your 10mm. I'm going to leave this one in just a little bit, not remove it all the way. That's going to help anchor that in place. We'll do the same for this one here. And then we'll get to that bottom one. And the bottom one we'll go ahead and loosen and then take it out completely. And I'll go ahead and get that last one here. So this connector is for the hood release switch. We're going to press in on the back side here, wiggle this, and going to separate this. Now the second part is we're going to use a small flathead screwdriver on the back side. I'm going to press in on a little tab and slide this forward. That's going to separate the hood release switch from this bracket here. Go ahead and lift up on the bracket, slide this back. You want to go ahead and remove any connectors here. This particular one has a zip tie. We're just going to snip that off. Release that harness, and then we can go ahead and remove this. We're going to go ahead and swap over the prop rod clip here onto the new unit. Simply using a pair of pliers, we're going to gently squeeze these tabs, and it pops right out. Line it up, and pop it right into the new unit. It's that easy. Let's go ahead and swap over this clip retainer here. And gently work that. Once you get that popped out, I'm going to go ahead and line it up and press it right in just like so. You want to make sure that you bring your hood latch release forward and go ahead and start to lower this down inside. And once you have your cross member installed, you want to start visually verifying that all the holes line up. Everything looks good. Double check on the other side. And I'm going to go ahead and start getting these bolts in. Just get them started by hand. I'm going to get these 3 installed. And then we'll repeat for the other side. Right, now that we have these in, let's go ahead and snug these down. All right, we're going to go ahead and get the AC condenser bracket mounted up here. Get that bolt started. I'm going to go ahead and tighten that down. Then we'll repeat for the other side. Let's go ahead and install the radiator mounting bracket here. And get that bolt started. I'm going to go ahead and snug that down, and then we'll repeat for the other side. Let's go ahead and get the 2 bolts in for the radiator fill cap tab. Get those started by hand. And we're just going to snug this down. This is a plastic mounting tab, so we just want to keep it stationary. So once you feel it bottom out, just give it that extra, just a little, maybe a quarter of a turn. And that's it. So now we have our hood latch release, and we have our hood sensor switch here. I'm going to feed that through. It'll come from on the back side. We have our tab right here for mounting. I'm going to slide this on, and then we'll take the connector right here, slide that on, and you hear it click when it locks into place. Now let's go ahead and get the hood latch bolts threaded in. Get those started a few threads and go over to the 2 on this side here. I'm going to go ahead and just use our 10 mil wrench, and we're going to go ahead and snug that down. Now when we snug these down, we're going to let the latch drop down to its full lowest position. That's just going to give us a preliminary setting. We may have to adjust it a little bit. We'll have to do a test with the hood release once we get this snugged up. Let's go ahead and get our hood cable retainer clip popped back in. Now some of our plastic retainers were so old and brittle it just happened to snap off. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a zip tie to simply anchor these wires back into place. Going to snug that up, not too tight, but just enough to hold those in place, and then just snip off the excess. We're going to do this throughout the rest of the harness into their original locations. Now let's go ahead and get our grille bolts installed here. Get this lined up and get it started a few threads. We're going to go ahead and snug that down and repeat for the other side. All right, so we have our prop rod lined up there. I'm just going to go ahead and lower the hood. And And we want to check and make sure that our latch is going to line up with the release, and it comes in good contact, lowers down, catches. So now that we know that it latches, we're going to go ahead and pop the hood, and we're going to go ahead and reach underneath and make sure we can unlatch it. And we're going to go ahead and install your trim panel. Bring it up and over the latch. We're going to make sure that the tip or the lip goes underneath the grill. Feed that in around. And then this side here, you just want to flex that in. Goes underneath that mounting tab. Do that for both sides. Next, what we want to do is take the main insert for the retainer clip, pop that in, and then come over to the fender tab here, line that up, snap that in, and repeat for the other side.